Porsche Cup car was one of the worst cars in iRacing, and now I think it's one of the best cars in all of sim racing. Let me show you why. Oh, nothing makes me happier than a realistic car on the sim. Now, welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Daniel Morad, two-time Rolex 24-hour winner, and a former champion of the Porsche Cup Series in Canada and North America.
Oh my God! This guy, every time! I won Daytona! I'm a pro driver! Whatever! You keep saying it! We get it! Okay? What a loser!
It's okay, man. I'm just trying to give some context for the new viewers that have never been here. So
but I love you, you know? I love you, but I hate you! But...
Alright, whatever. Dude, you're not looking so good over there, okay? You need to get outside, get out of the basement, touch some grass, okay? These internet trolls, what a waste of time. Anyway, I wanted to share with you just a little bit of my background so you know where I'm coming from when I explain what feels real and what doesn't. Thankfully, I've had a great career so far, a lot of accomplishments, and I've actually driven the Porsche Cup car this year. I drove the Porsche 992.1 around 10 times this year doing some lead and follow coaching with a driver in the Porsche Carrera Cup North America Series. So I'm going to try to bring that experience and just explain to you what I'm feeling in the car and why I think the new Porsche 992.2 Cup car is actually one of the most realistic cars in all of sim racing. I think we need to start with why I dislike the old Cup car. And if I can put it just down to one thing in general, it was that the car felt like it wasn't connected with the surface of the road. I always felt like I was driving over it, and it had this cloudy, light feeling or like an icy effect where there was just no connection. I felt like I had 2 centimeters of contact patch on each tire. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way about it. You can let me know what you think about the old Cup car, but the new Cup car, there's so much going for it. And I'll try to keep this short. We'll start with a few, I guess, less important things. Let's talk about the look of it inside the cockpit, which is what's important because that's what you're going to be seeing. Feel like there's a little bit of an improvement on the details. The dash has a bit more texture. The reflections inside the cockpit look a little bit sharper and more lifelike. The sound of the car, massive improvement. The transmission specifically, you can really feel the rear end getting light, and you get these audible cues of the rear lifting, the transmission whining, the gears banging. Like, it just has every sort of visceral component all encapsulated into one car. It's just an amazing experience from the audio perspective. It really does help and assist you with the driving because it gives you an idea of what's going on underneath you with the car. Now, the best thing that's been improved for me is the way the tires interact with the road. You actually feel like there's contact patch now. You feel like you have tires underneath you, big tires underneath you, and they actually work properly. Dynamics, weight distribution, all of it makes sense. It's all so intuitive. You hit the brakes, you get the front end working. You brake too hard, the ABS just creates understeer. You go to throttle too hard out of a low speed corner, you get a little bit of a slide, one that you can actually catch, not one where it spins you out and sends you to Saturn. So it's just a lot more intuitive to drive. It's easier, I find. The skill gap's gonna be a lot tighter, and you have new things like ABS and traction control, which is really gonna help the player base as a whole because it's gonna invite a whole new type of racer, maybe one that's a little less experienced, and give you an opportunity to learn and hone your skills in the Porsche Cup Series, which is what it's supposed to be for. It's probably one of the most intuitive race cars on any sim I've ever driven. From the first moment I went out of the pit lane, it just responded and behaved exactly like the Cup car should behave. And just really any race car in general should behave. I think it's even better than the GT3s currently in iRacing. The way this car feels is phenomenal. I think it's going to be a fan favorite, and I can't wait for you guys to try it for yourselves. I mean, I'm just going to stop talking now, and we're going to go drive, and I'm going to do a hot lap and just show you what this thing feels like when I'm pushing 10/10ths. All right, so that was a hot lap. Now, let's talk about a few things. The first being, there's a launch control system. So for starts, it makes it very easy. You go to first gear, full throttle, and you just go. It's that easy. So for standing starts, it makes it very easy. I feel like it's going to be just down to reaction time versus the actual technique of releasing the clutch from now on. Cold tires is a lot easier to drive than GT3, so you can expect an easier time, less crashing on the opening lap. So I think everyone's going to welcome that a little bit more. Now, balance-wise, it's hard to comment on the balance itself because it feels tame, maybe a little understeery, with a sharp front end, if that makes sense. Like when you're on the brakes and you brake correctly, it actually does go into the corner sharply. Like you can see how it's just very direct and it turns in. But the biggest thing for me is how the car actually works on the brakes. It squirms around, which makes it really fun, actually. You can really feel the rear lifting and wiggling around on you. And it's so Porsche-esque because you can feel it in your hands where the wheel's almost going left and right in the brake zone. It's not oversteering, it's just dancing and feeling light on the rear end. So that's a really cool sensation that you get. And because I have a motion rig, I feel it in all sorts of different areas. But for those that just are, using a direct drive steering wheel or even just any sort of force feedback, you'll definitely be able to feel what I'm talking about in your hands, where you'll feel the wheel just starting to jiggle back and forth ever so slightly. And we'll probably be able to see it nicely here into turn one. You can kind of see that car squirming left and right. You almost got to release the brake to sit the rear back down so you can make it take a set as you rotate the car in for the corner. Now, off the curbs, this car is amazing. I already mentioned the mechanical balance of this car and the dynamics is phenomenal. And there's no better place than to test it over here in the bus stop at Watkins Glen. Look at this thing, just monstering over the curbs. Beautiful, just as it would do in real life. I mean, there's not much more to say about this car. Last thing I want to touch on are the driver aids, because that's something that's pretty new to the Porsche Cup car. You have ABS and TC. I've been running TC 1 and ABS 1. Let's turn everything to 11, maximum support, and I'll show you just how it is. I mean, already with 1, very difficult to spin the rear tires up, but with 11, let's just see how it is. I just mash the throttle down. Let's try it here. Let's just try to spin. Let's see if we can do it. No, you can't. See it? The TC supporting you? It just basically creates understeer off the corner. Especially for these high speeds. These high speed corners. You're just getting understeer. And that's exactly what it's like in the real car. Look at that. No wheel spin whatsoever. Smash the throttle down. And that's how it should be. I've been saying this in previous videos. Cars have a lot more rear grip than you'd think. And in the sim, it's always been lacking that rear grip, especially on traction, on throttle, going off the corners. That's what makes this car so amazing. It's just so intuitive to drive. And also, it's gonna bring everyone so much closer together. Now, over a long run, I'm not quite sure how it's going to perform because I've only been doing shorter runs, but in my 10 lap or 15 lap run that I've done already, I didn't really feel too much drop off in the tire. Of course, there's a peak and then it levels off, but I never really got to the point where the rears were struggling or it was very difficult to drive. So overall, this is going to be a really nice car for all skill levels. I think it's going to bring the competition really close together. Now, this is the last thing I want to touch on because it's the most important thing. The tires are so much more forgiving. Like, look at this. I can slide through the corner and there's still grip. Let's throw it in. Look at that. TC supporting so much. I can barely snap the rear of this thing out. I'll try to Scandinavian flick this thing in. Look at that. Slides in. Boom, back under control. You can really throw this car around, and it's so much more fun to drive. Look at that. Throwing it and counter steering. Let's throw it into turn 1. Look at this. Car is still working well. Still lots of grip. We can still go flat out. We're not going to be in danger of spinning out the next corner, which is what we've had in the past. So it's just so much fun. You can really throw this car around, race harder, not be worried that you're going to lose it on the next corner. Look at this. You can really feel the car throwing its weight around. You can chuck it up over the curb. Look at that front bouncing, bottoming out, reconnecting, not spinning. Look at, we're going to throw it. Oh, and that's too much. And that's where we're going to end it. Now, to make this whole experience as realistic as possible, I have to thank VPG for sending me over this gorgeous Porsche Cup wheel. It's a direct replica of the real life wheel. Like, it's literally, it is the real wheel. Full carbon fiber, all backlit LEDs. The thing is phenomenal. It's just 1-to-1. And it's very similar to the 991.1 wheel in terms of the ergonomics and the way it's feeling. So I feel right at home. And it just it adds to the experience and makes it feel so good to drive. I hope you guys enjoyed that first test drive. Those are my first impressions. I'm very excited to drive this on a regular basis. Let me know if you guys are going to drive it as well down in the comments. I'm super excited to hear your feedback. And once you guys are able to drive the car for yourselves, let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's too easy? Do you think that you enjoy this new challenge of having a lot more competition, making the car a little bit less skill-based and more accessible to everyone? Let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you like the video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel since you've made it to this point, and I will see you guys on track and also in the next video.